I'm just gonna wait in the background, watching you talk to her. I know this might look bad, but I'm just gonna melt in the background, watching you lean into her. I'm a fool, I just wanna get close to you. Yeah, I wanna get close. I'm a fool, I know. Are you thinking about...
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name's Lisa. It's Tom MacDonald Tuesday, which means another reaction to Tom MacDonald music. Today's reaction video is going to be to the official music video for his track Brainwashed. Really looking forward to getting into some more Tom MacDonald and seeing what he has for us in this one. Not too sure what this one is going to be about. Based on the title, I'm thinking that it may be a little bit perhaps political or controversial, and maybe talking about society being brainwashed, how we're all kind of brainwashed by the system and all the corruption and things like that, but I could be wrong. So without further ado, let's get into it and see what Tom has for us in this one. Here we go.
Half the country fell asleep, but they scream woke. We're distracted by vaccines and TV shows, politics, celebrity gossip, popular neat quotes. Black lives, white lives, which lives mean most? We only dedicate one day to remember our fallen soldiers, the men and women who died young. But if you come out the closet as Caitlyn Jenner, you're a hero and you get a whole Pride Month. The most dangerous pandemic's propaganda from these clowns. Only mask that's gonna save us is duct tape on their mouths. Don't speak. We don't need to defund police, need to defund the media who lies through their teeth like Big Pharma doesn't cure you, dog, cause every patient that gets cured is a customer lost. And big oil runs the world. The only wars that get fought are with the countries who have natural resources they want. Heard him claiming if a white man braids his hair and likes rap, he's appropriating culture. But if a white man acts too white, he's white trash. He's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a monster. Let's just have the conversation. Not every liberal is dumb, not all Republicans are racist. The government wants everybody fighting with their neighbors, cause they know that if we get along, we'll probably go against them. They can't stop us, cause we're ready to fight, trying to brainwash us. But we won't let freedom die. The whole world's brainwashed. Everybody pick a team, start a riot in the streets. The whole world's brainwashed. It's us against them, it ain't you against me.
Oh, I just want to pause it there just to say a few words about this, give my first impressions. Oh yeah, as I suspected, this is quite controversial and it's addressing some classic things that have sort of come up in recent years, or things that have always sort of been an issue, but they're just sort of really seriously being addressed now in recent times as we know them, and especially with the whole culture of social media and things like that, everything being on the internet, it's all easily accessible for watching clips and things that are going on in the news and around the world really. And he's making some brilliant points about just all the different contradictions that there are. You know, how the media likes to brainwash people and sort of drive the narrative, control the narrative, and make people believe something that is not necessarily true. Sometimes it is, sometimes they do kind of get certain things right, and they, you know, they are for all intents and purposes, they should be, the media should be there to report on things that are important, topics of the day, or things that are going on around the world. They should be there to kind of start conversations and to discuss things that are really, really important. But unfortunately, the media has become even more so. I think it's all probably for a long time it's been like that, but it just seems to have become even more, it's more of a business than it is actually about reporting the truth and what really matters and what's really going on. And sadly, yeah, they do lie a lot. They like I say, control the narrative with regards to certain things that are happening, but they like to twist the truth, and it's for their own agenda. And yeah, not everything that you see in the media, it should be that way, but not everything you see in the media is actually the way that it is. It's very, very clever the way they've manipulated and twisted certain situations. They do it every single day. regardless of what situations those things are, whether it's about politics, whether it's about race, whether it's about wars, whether it's about celebrities, whatever the subject is, they like to manipulate people and sort of try and control the masses and make them think that something's going on that really isn't. And sadly, they've become so unreliable with that. So I love the fact that he's making the points about how the media brainwashes people and manipulates everything to fit their own narrative and their own agenda. I mean, what he said about, black lives, white lives, which ones are most important. I mean, it shouldn't come down to that. It should be that all lives genuinely do matter, but sadly that is not the case, and we have this huge divide with regards to racism and things like that. And I think anybody that will still continue, even with the amount of proof that there is out there all the time of racism, anybody that says that racism doesn't exist and it's a made up thing is kidding themselves. I'm sorry, it does exist. It shouldn't exist, and all lives should matter, but sadly they don't. There is still this huge divide, this huge separation between races. And at the end of the day, really, we're all humans. We're all part of the same race, and that's the human race. We just happen to have different skin colours or different cultures where we're brought up slightly differently, or we have different belief systems with regards to religion and things like that. And it as long as people are not going out of their way to hurt someone, whether that be physically, mentally, emotionally, I think it should be a case of live and let live, and just understand that yes, there are a lot of differences between certain people, in the way they sort of live their lives, but as long as they're not doing any real harm, we should also understand that we're all the same. We're all humans having a human experience on Earth, and we should all be getting along. It shouldn't be about my skin colour is better than yours, and it shouldn't come down to my people are superior to you, because we are all people at the end of the day. And I don't understand why this is still an issue. I find it so sad and sickening at the same time that, again, going back to the media, they control this narrative. They help cause this separation amongst the human race because of things that are reported. And yes, I understand that it's important to report on racism and things like that, but they, like I say, because they like to drive the narrative and they like to twist things, they don't speak the truth. And instead you have so many people that get told and believe that something is not really the way it is, when actually the media are lying about it. And I just find that really, really sad. I really do. It should come down to, like he made a point of saying, it should be actually the people against the corrupt system and all the liars. And yeah, if it was a case of that, then they would be afraid that everybody's going to stand up against them and their little plan's going to backfire, like that, they won't be able to get away with things anymore. The same with Big Pharma. He made a point about that. Every customer lost, it basically is money lost. Because if they were to put out things that cure people of certain things such as cancer, for example, which takes so many lives a year, they would not have the amount of money that they do to keep operating. And yeah, ultimately we're all customers, and it's quite sick that they feel that way about human lives. And yet there are people that kind of buy into that whole idea, or they don't seem to understand it, and yet in the next breath there's a lot of people that that are screaming all lives matter, or they're pro-life, and I just think, how is that pro-life? By continuing to support these kind of systems and these kind of people, these companies, how continuing to support them and speak up in support of them, how is that pro-life? It's not. And it should be us, the people, all standing up together against this corrupt system and all these injustices, whatever they are, and saying enough is enough. We don't want this anymore. We want freedom to be able to just be human and just all get along, and we don't want to be faced with having to choose sides and stuff. We should all be on the same side. So I mean, there's other points that he could have made, and I've said before, I'm going to try not to sort of like discuss every single thing or go into huge detail about it, because I could make these Tom MacDonald reaction videos really long, and I don't want to kind of do that too much, because I just feel like I'm going on a huge rant. And I know there are some people out there that will agree with me, and other people that will not agree with me about certain things or certain opinions that I have that may differ from opinions that maybe Tom has sort of put out in his songs, or that Tom holds himself. And I don't want that to be coming across as disrespectful to Tom. I'm here, I'm still listening to his music. I'm not one of those kind of people that will say you don't share the same views as me, so therefore I'm cancelling you, or I'm not gonna do these reactions anymore, I'm not going to listen to your music. Because I think, like I've said many times before, he has made so many brilliant points, and I think with a lot of the things that he says, they're not probably necessarily his actual beliefs, it's just that he is addressing all those contradictions. He's starting some really important conversations that we all need to have amongst ourselves, and try and sort some of these issues out once and for all, because some of them have just gone on for way too long, and they're not great issues to have. They're not at all. All of this stuff that he's addressing in here so far, they're not healthy. They're not ideal. They're not an advantage to the human race at all. And it's really sad. So I love the fact that he's bringing up all the things to do with Big Pharma and the media being corrupt and just in it for their own benefit and their own advantage, and how they brainwash people, because that is so true. Beat is awesome. Love the instrumental, love the whole visuals of the video, just sort of in front of TV screens, and just basically going off about the injustices of the world and of the system, and how people are treated poorly, and yet they'll claim that they care about people, and they really don't. A lot of these people, the politicians and the media and stuff, that they like to say that they're interested or they care about reporting the truth, but most of the time it's actually false. They're not reporting the truth at all. They're reporting their truth, but there's a difference between their truth, someone else's truth, and the truth. And sadly, a lot of people will be quite quick to jump onto the whole lie thing. They'll get so wrapped up and immersed in it that they get brainwashed, and you tell a lie often enough and people will start to believe it and think that it's actually fact, and a lot of the time it's really not. It's really a sick game that they're playing with people's lives, and that's not right. So anyway, let's carry on and see what else he has to say in this, because I know he's got a lot to say. He always does with these kind of songs. So let's get back into it.
How did monkeys become people and people turned into sheep? They put fluoride in the water that's keeping us all asleep. Claim they want what's best for us, I find it hard to believe, cause they've been selling us cigarettes since we was 18. Fake news, fake woke, distract and divide. You're either right or you're left, or you're black or you're white. Big tech don't need a microchip to hack in your life, cause the phone inside your pocket is a tracking device. And I don't know what I'm more sick of, rappers or Joe Biden looking like he ate 100 Xanax for dinner. Cause censoring the president and kicking him off Twitter is a bigger threat to freedom than foreign ballistic missiles. You don't trust the police or the government, but you want people giving up their right to own a firearm. Why would you be...
I just want to pause it there again, just to sort of say about how I think he's referring to Trump, the fact that he was kicked off Twitter, or he was suspended from social media for basically tweeting out hate and things like that. In all fairness, one thing I will say about that is there was a lot of things that Donald Trump was putting out there on social media. Donald Trump and his family and his administration, the people that are around him, including his family members, who many of which actually worked alongside him while he was president. They were advisors and in senior positions within the administration. And the sad fact is that was the truth. He was putting out a lot of hatred, and he was encouraging his supporters to continue that hate and perpetuate it, to put that hate out there, and it just spiraled. And that is still a thing today. It's had a knock-on effect. It's not stopped just because he stopped being president. It's still carrying on, maybe even worse than ever, because there's a lot of his supporters that are angry that he is no longer president, and they feel that he lost this election, and you know, he was kicked out of the White House unfairly, and there was a lot of corruption. Where is that true? Who knows? Who knows? I don't believe it is, but that's probably because I haven't made any secret of the fact that I have no love for Donald Trump whatsoever. I think he was not a great person to have as a president. I just don't think that I don't think that he should have been in the position of president and making those kind of huge decisions for an entire country. You know, arguably one of the most powerful countries in the world, one of the most influential countries in the world, and had him in charge of nuclear codes. I just think that was very dangerous, and it's kind of proved it now. Even though he's not president, there's all this stuff going on right now around Trump, and whether, you know, with all these sealed classified documents, these top secret documents that he kind of took to his you know, island, to his resort, Mar-a-Lago, wherever it is, and that he shouldn't have done, you know, things that, you know, have come up since with regards to his administration, all these different laws that they're making with regards to anti-abortion and contraceptives and birth control and things like that. And this is stemmed from the people that he put within positions of power within the Supreme Court and all around him. It's still having a knock-on effect now, even though there is a new president, and there has been for the last couple of years. The effects of his presidency are still being felt, and they're spiraling, they're snowballing. I think it's getting worse, not better, in some respects. So yeah, I who knows what the truth is. That's just it. But it just seems like everything's going a bit crazy in the world right now, just everywhere, not just America, but just everywhere. And it's, oh crikey, it's mad. It's a crazy time to be alive. They say that they've got our best interests at heart, and they really don't. They really don't. I mean, like you pointed out with regards to selling cigarettes and stuff, they claim to care about people's health and things like that, and for, you know, to cover their own backsides, they'll put out warnings on cigarette packets or on television or, you know, wherever, saying smoking is so bad for you, and yet they continue to sell them. I mean, what's that all about? So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to just make a point or two about that. Let's carry on.
The police and the government, the only people on the planet with the right to buy a gun. White privilege getting amplified to reinforce division. It convinces white people that they're favored by their skin, and black people getting angry because they're told they're treated different. So the conflict is between us and never with the system. Let's just have the conversation. Not every liberal is dumb, not all Republicans are racist.
Sorry, I just want to pause that. Again, I get where he's coming from, and to an extent I agree, but it's not just, yes, the system are perpetuating this whole hatred or this division between black and white people, but black people are treated differently. People of colour are treated differently, and that's something that we're kind of led to believe is not a thing. But like I said earlier, you know, anybody that thinks that racism no longer exists, I think is kidding themselves, because it very much does exist. And yes, at the same time, I do acknowledge that, yeah, the system is a lot to do with that. They continue this divide. They again perpetuate that. They encourage it. But it's up to people to stand up. This is another one of those things that, you know, we all need to stand up against and say, really, why are you lying about this? Why are you trying to make us think that one colour is superior to another? It's not like that, because we are all human. So yes, where else I do totally agree with him that the media and the system helps that snowball. At the same time, we as individuals have to take responsibility for a lot of that as well, for basically being brainwashed, for allowing ourselves to believe that. Because racism does exist. Whether or not you've experienced it or not, it doesn't matter. Just because you haven't experienced it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So yeah, a brilliant point, I must admit, and I totally agree with where he's coming from. Yes, they really know how to sow the seeds of division, but we need to stand up collectively and say, we're not falling for that. No, we're not going to fall for that one anymore. So yeah, I just wanted to say that.
The government wants everybody fighting with their neighbors, cause they know that if we get along, we'll probably go against them.
Yeah.
They can't stop us, cause we're ready to fight, trying to brainwash us, but we won't let freedom die.
Love this
The whole world's brainwashed.
Everybody pick a team, start a riot in the streets.
The whole world's brainwashed.
It's us against them, it ain't you against me.
Step
That's how
one,
it
train the
should be.
people only to consume. Step two, infiltrate adults with the news. Step three, indoctrinate the children through the schools and the music and the apps on the phones that they use. Step four,
Yeah.
separate the right from the left. Step five, separate the white from the black. Step six, separate the rich from the poor. Use religion and equality to separate them more. Step seven, fabricate a problem made a lie. Step eight, put it on the
Yeah.
news every night. Step nine, when people start to fight and divide, take control. This is called situational design. They can't stop
Oh, I love that. He put that perfectly. That was perfectly worded. That's literally, that is literally a dance.
Everybody pick a team, start a riot in the streets.
The whole world's brainwashed.
It's us against them, it ain't you against me.
Nova, brilliant job. Yeah, brilliant job. Yeah, I loved that. He put that so perfectly near to the end there. That's exactly what they do. And yeah, like he said, it's time that we kind of woke up to that and realised that we are basically pawns in a big game of chess. They are playing with our lives. They are playing with us. They're playing with humans, and you know, we are the ones that they will happily just throw away. We're expendable, and it actually should be the other way around, where we should be the ones that are controlling the narrative, because you know, we're the ones that have got to live on this planet. We shouldn't be allowing the media or the governments or the people up the top there to control us. There's more of us than there is of them, and we should be the ones that are standing up against them, saying, no, you're not going to manipulate us like that, you're not going to control us. We're not falling for that BS anymore. Yeah, but he said that perfectly. I mean, that was a brilliant song, with some awesome points. And like I say, whereas there's a few points that I have said that I kind of maybe differ slightly, at the same time, I have so much respect for Tom for continuing to speak up for this stuff, and knowing full well that, you know, I mean, his life could be at risk. He's stated that he gets death threats a lot of the time. He has to go out wearing a bulletproof vest because, you know, there's been times that he's been afraid for his life. There's many times that he's afraid, and yet he is still brave enough to continue to speak up about the things that really matter. And I just hope that his following increases and more people wake up. I think a lot of people are gradually starting to wake up to this whole BS system thing and this whole corruption and control thing that they've got going on. I think it's happening. I mean, I wish it would happen a lot faster, but sometimes these things, they're going to take time, because you know, this has been going on for a long time now, and it's not just as easy as snapping your fingers and getting everybody to wake up all at the same time. Sadly, you know, there are some people that are just may never wake up. Sadly, there are people that are taking their time. They will wake up a lot slower than others will. And I mean, I know he kind of often talks about sort of, you know, being woke and fake woke and stuff like that, and yeah, he also talks about being asleep. And I think part of being woke, some people say it like it's a bad thing, but I think part of being woke is actually waking up to the idea that we are being controlled, and then deciding, do you want to carry on being controlled and turn a blind eye, bury your head in the sand, pretend that it's not happening, or do you want to actually step out of your comfort zone and help dismantle that system? That's ultimately what people have got to decide. And some people will prefer to live in denial, pretend it's not happening. Some people don't want to do anything about it or help with the situation because they're afraid for whatever reason, and I get that. I totally get that. And sometimes it is difficult to step out of your comfort zone. For many people it is. And other people will actually stand up and be like, wow, that is crazy. My eyes are opened. I'm literally looking at everything with a whole whole other viewpoint right now, with a whole other mindset. And if that's what being woke means, then it's a good thing, isn't it? It's a great thing. That's what we need to happen, really, to sort of stand up collectively as human beings, not you know, right versus left, not black versus white, not, you know, gay versus straight, or, you know, we need to stand up collectively and say, no, that's not happening anymore. Don't fall for that. We're not falling for that. We know what your game is, and we're not going to play along. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. I loved this. Nova did another incredible job with shooting the video. Very kind of simple, really, in a sense, you know, just mostly Tom with, you know, newspapers scattered on the floor, and just, you know, big TV screens behind him and stuff. But it just went perfectly. It set the mood for the song perfectly, and the important things that he was trying to say. So yeah, absolutely loved this one. This was definitely a controversial one. Yeah, but at the same time, I hope that it continues to raise points and wake people up and start conversations, and hopefully, you know, we'll be on the way to changing the things that, you know, should no longer work, that are no longer working, and the things that are not to everybody's advantage anymore. And I really admire and respect Tom for continuing to talk about this, despite the fact that, you know, it's probably scary for him at times to face the repercussions or face the consequences of talking about this sort of stuff. So props to him for being brave enough to do it. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with more Tom MacDonald Tuesday reactions, and reactions to other artists on Thursdays and Sundays. And also, if you're a Home Free fan or an a cappella fan and you love Home Free's music, then please come back over every Friday for Home Free Friday, the little mini series that I've just started, where I react exclusively to Home Free music. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.
Just hope that we're still okay. You always pick me up.